I'm going to show you some unique power tools from the Mafell range. Mafell have been producing power tools in southern Germany for well over 100 years, and they're now a market leader in the manufacture of carpentry machines. 85% of the components are manufactured in-house, and only the finest quality raw materials are used. Over their long history, they've always maintained close contact with end users, and this has allowed them to develop machines with unique features that help you to work more efficiently. For example, the new Cuprex motors. These provide enormous torque and constant speed even under heavy load. They're also lighter and more compact than conventional motors, making them less tiring to use. There are lots of other exceptional features on these tools, so let's take a closer look. This is the DD40 Duo Doweller, a tool specifically designed for jointing a variety of different materials either in the workshop or on site. It uses standard wooden dowels. Now the advantage of dowels is they produce a really strong joint. The disadvantage is it's very difficult to get perfect alignment of the holes in the two different components. This is no problem with the Duo Doweller. I'll show you how. For a start, the DD40 drills two holes at once at a spacing of 32 millimeters. The depth of the hole can be adjusted from 0 to 40 millimeters, and the 0 point is adjustable to compensate for tool wear and resharpening. The angle of the fence can also be adjusted up to 90 degrees, and the most commonly used angles have indexing stops. To ensure precision, it locks securely on both columns with just a single knob. There are a lot of other features on this tool as well to help with the precision, but it'll be much easier to show you these when we actually start making joints. I'm going to show you 4 different joints: an end-to-end joint, an edge joint, a 45-degree joint, and then a bevel joint. So let's start with a straightforward end-to-end joint. To position the joint, you could just draw a line across it and then use this to line up with the mark in the window. However, this requires you to be really precise with the marking or the joint will not line up properly. To make this foolproof, the DD40 has 2 spring-loaded stops. So all you have to do is press in one stop with the work, slide it across against the other stop, and then drill. Repeat for the other side with the second piece. Provided you always work from the face side and the face edge on each piece, the holes will be perfectly aligned. Another advantage is that you don't have to clamp the workpiece. Just lay it on the non-slip mat which is provided with the tool. Place the DD40 on the work, slide it across against the stop, and then drill. Notice how you hold the fence on the work with your thumb and press against the end of the tool with the other hand to drill. I demonstrated that quite slowly, but once you become familiar with the tool, it's actually very, very quick, and look how precise this is. Push those together. You can see perfect alignment, and you can also see the advantage of 2 dowels. That joint is totally stable. Next, I'm going to show you an edge-to-edge joint. For this, we're going to use 4 dowels. Drill the first 2 holes as before. Then reposition the work and drill the second 2. The trick here is not to drill from either end of the work, but instead drill the first 2 holes and then use these as a location on the spring-loaded pin, pushing it tight against the pin to drill the next ones. The more dowels you have, the more precise you have to be, But you can see here, even with 4 dowels, everything lines up perfectly. So next we're going to look at a 90-degree joint. In this situation, it may be that with the standard stops, the drill will actually come through the side of the workpiece near to the narrow end. To overcome this, the DD40 is supplied with additional stops to offset the holes. Using these, there is then no danger of the drill breaking through the side of the work. And there are a variety of different size stops to suit different applications. Then swap the stop onto the other side and drill the second workpiece. We're all familiar with the problem of trying to glue up a mitered joint. It always moves when you apply the clamps. You can see here with our 2 dowels we've got perfect alignment. There's no danger of that moving when we clamp up. Finally, we're going to do what's normally a very tricky job and join 2 pieces on a bevel. Start by adjusting the fence to the required angle using the work as a guide, and then lock it securely. But now we have the same problem of the drill possibly breaking through the side of the work. So move the fence in as close as possible and the holes will then be perfectly centred. Just watch how quick this can be when you become really familiar with the tool. A perfect joint every time. So far we've only used the doweller on narrow workpieces, as for instance in a frame. So how do you use the DD40 on wide panels? You can drill the 2 holes at either side of the panel using the spring-loaded stops for location. But how do you accurately locate the centre ones? There are some alignment marks on the base plate, so you can work to a pencil line. But a much better option is to use the 800mm long template guide that Mafell provide as an accessory. This secures with a simple clamping system. The 0 point is automatically fixed according to the edge you're working from. To position it correctly, make a mark with a pencil at either end, align it with these marks, and then clamp securely. The DD40 has a matching profile on both the base and fence that interlocks precisely on the template guide. So you can then repeat the same 32mm spacing on all the other panels. For the holes on the face of the panel, you cannot use the width of the template guide for marking, as the material thickness may vary. Instead, mark off the base of the DD40 directly, then position the template on these marks one at either end. And drill as before. You can mark the top of the template to get the same central position each time. And once again, it all lines up perfectly. If you're fitting several internal shelves or dividers, use the template guide in exactly the same way. If the shelf needs to be set back, the position of the 0 point can be adjusted accordingly on the template guide. So that's the DD40 and how it works. For really large pieces, you can extend the template guide rail to 2.4 meters and then hold it in place with these clamps. Dual dowel systems are available to take cutters from 3 to 16 millimeters in diameter. They're all supplied in a carrying case which contains everything you need for use in the workshop or on site. Just grab the case and go. That was just one of the unique tools from Mafell. For more information, contact your nearest dealer or log on to the website. Mafell, built by professionals for professionals. If you've used a jigsaw, you'll know